It has been incredibly busy. I can't believe the turn of events. What's going on, guys? Dave here at the store. How you doing today? Gonna take you on an adventure, and I'm gonna start with that guy right there. Everything we have here was traded in last week, or it's part of our restock. However, I will start with the Atari Lynx that was actually traded in that huge collection we got a few weeks ago. This is pretty cool. I'm happy it's here. I'm going to open that up shortly and show you guys the contents because, believe it or not, it's actually mint, even though it's not working properly. But let's start with the games here. So we got Micro Machines for the NES, a really awesome game. A lot of fun. Maybe the 2-screen split would have been a good addition, but they didn't do that. Got RBI Baseball, Tiger Heli, Rainbow Islands, Little Nemo Dream Master. I mean, no one really talks about that game, but that's a really good game with an awesome soundtrack. A couple of copies of Tetris there. Finally got a copy of Paperboy in. It's been a while, so happy to get that one in. Sort of some more commons down here, nothing too crazy. Blaster Master, awesome game. Up here we've got Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White just kicking it there in her leisure suit. Few disc-based games down here, nothing too crazy. These were some games that were traded in last week that I actually brought home with me, priced, and brought them back to the store. So some good PS4 titles in there. And then we got some good PS3 titles as well. Dungeon Siege Limited Edition, don't see that one too often. Same with Dirt 3, and that game just keeps going up. The racing games for the PS3 are going up pretty much all the time. Good to get another copy of Skate 3 as well. And the Splinter Cell Trilogy, that's a more expensive game, especially for the Tom Clancy series. Then we have some PSP games here. Now these are not games that were traded in. I actually found these in the storage unit, and I thought I'd bring them in because I'm pretty sure we don't have any of them here. So just a good assortment of PSP games, and we actually have a good amount of room on our shelves for the PSP games. So happy to sort of boost our section there. This is our PSP section, and there's a bit of a gap at the end there, and we can always stack games sort of on top. Down here we have some good GBA games here, Mario 3, a few of the Mega Man X games, Advance Wars 2, Excitebike, Metroid. We don't have copies of any of these, so nice to get those in. This is the Japanese Mario Land 2. I have actually never played it on in Japanese, so curious to see how that would go. Mario Deluxe, Yoshi's Island. I put this game in here, it's not here by accident, but this Barbie Pups game is worth so much money on the 3DS. So I sort of wanted to highlight that for everyone. If you see this game out in the wild for $5 or anything less, grab it. It is worth allegedly hundreds of dollars. Over here we've got X-Men Apocalypse. A pretty beat up copy of Smash, but this game is selling really well for us lately, so I don't really think it matters how it looks. People just want that game. And then we got a Game & Watch in here, the Zelda Game & Watch. Also got a few other miscellaneous items here, so got a box only for Quake 2, and then got a really beat up box for the Micro Machines. So that actually came with the Micro Machines, but I decided to separate it because this box is in pretty rough condition. You can see on the side there, so I mean, if this thing was in really good condition, it'd be worth a lot more, but just slap 10 bucks on it. I know somebody will grab that for their collection. Over here, the Resident Evil controller for the GameCube has been sold. So our buddy Marco is going to be picking that up. We put it at $2.95, and he prepaid for it over the weekend, and he's actually got somebody coming in to pick it up for him. I know I don't talk a lot about Resident Evil games, or for that matter, GameCube games, but this is one of the few GameCube games I've actually beaten, and I absolutely loved it. And if you've played Resident Evil 4, you know why this is a chainsaw controller. Like, the chainsaw levels, it's just like the scariest thing. So, good stuff. So actually, before I decide to put all of the games on the shelves, just wanted to give you a little state of the store. I haven't been here in the last couple of weeks, so just thought I'd show you guys how we're doing here. Nothing too crazy. I'm not sure if I showed this recently, but we got that traded in a couple of weeks ago, a brand new PlayStation bag. So that's pretty cool. I believe I brought this down. It was actually in another area of the store, the Ace Combat 6 flight stick. Really neat item. It's actually been up there for the longest time, but I decided to bring it down. Most of these are empty boxes, by the way. Everyone always asks. They're like, cool, 25 bucks for a console. I'm like, it's just a box. And I think we just keep that stuff up there to fill up the space. Nothing too crazy. Although there is a Pico up there, and the portal gun. That'll probably sit there till the end of time, or until real portal guns are actually invented. So Super Nintendo, N64, PS1. Sold a few of those boxed games from the collection, not too many. They're still here. It'll take a little while to sell those. They're sort of on the lower end, but people will grab those. So get your Wii, got your NES, and PS4. Looks like there's a few gaps in the PS4, so I'll be able to find room for that collection there. There we go. State of the store. Huge shout out to everyone who's subscribed and liked the content recently. Just wanted to shout you guys out. Thank you so much. As I point with my fingers. No, seriously, we appreciate it. And if you haven't already, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Also, comments. Love the comments. Keep them coming. Cheers. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Atari Lynx box and show you everything because it's pretty neat and pretty rare for us to get this in. So there it is, still in its original bag. You still have the foam. Like that alone, just you don't see that all the time. And here's the console, guys. Like it really is minty. It looks like it was unused. It's gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. It's funny, it's like the one console that we never see in our store. It is extremely rare. I mean, arguably more rare than the Atari Jaguar. This is a pretty neat item. And like I said, it's not working, but I think somebody who knows their electronics will probably be able to get this going. We do have a buyer that's purchasing this knowing the condition. They want it because they need it in their collection and they wanted the box. The box itself is also pretty rare. And you probably saw on the front of the box, it has this Batman sticker. I believe this is a variant to this box. So even the Atari Lynx has a variant, but pretty cool stuff. The Atari Lynx. We've got our first trade of the day here, and it's a doozy. Check it out, guys. Collector's editions galore for the Switch, PS4. Just amazing stuff. I honestly don't even know where to start, so I guess I'll just go left to right here. So we got the Stormwind EX collection here. Got some really good PS4 games down here as well. Games you just don't see. Panzer Dragoon, Caladrius, Blaze. We've never had these games. This is amazing. Like, just absolutely amazing. This one here really caught my attention, and you can kind of see why I put it at the top here. I love the throwback to the Super Nintendo box. Really, really cool. Super Hydrora. I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce that game. And then a bunch of PS4 games in here. I should say everything is either minty or sealed. Like the person who brought these in actually brought them in bubble wrap. So we're talking like really good condition here, guys. No More Heroes 1 and 2 Switch Collector's Editions. Both of them are sealed. And this one's such a cool box as well. Total throwback to, I mean, what, the 70s cartoons, maybe 80s, I guess. And I'll finish off here with the Panzer Dragoon games. I mean, yeah, just amazing, right? They're both limited run games here, so obviously you see the limited run there. They threw it in the top corner here. This is an awesome game. I have played this for the Saturn, absolutely love it. I'm guessing they remade them. Maybe they updated the graphics with these two games. Both of them are minty. So this is one doozy of a trade, guys. Really happy to get all this stuff in. Gonna be pricing it and putting it up very soon. Okay, so totally realized I glossed over God Hand from that collection. Also Shadow of Rome. Two pretty obscure games. Actually, I'd say the God Hand game is pretty rare. But what's actually really cool about this whole thing is that over here we have a copy of God Hand that we're selling to a client today. So we basically were able to replace God Hand with another copy of God Hand. Really rare game, definitely on the more expensive side, so didn't want to miss that one in the video. I'm showing you the mighty Wii right now, and there's a reason for this. As we all know, the Wii is mighty, and the Wii is definitely a top seller for us. But we did have a client recently comment asking about the necessity of having this many games in the store. Basically saying, like, could you get rid of, like, you know, one of your rows here and maybe, you know, make more room for other stuff in the store, because, you know, we have stuff on the floor, we have stuff that's like way up high, all across, and I am going to seriously consider it. But I do want to say the Wii sells, and there are so many games for the Wii that it's really hard to have a smaller section. And a lot of the, you know, $5 to $10 games, a lot of the kiddie games, they do sell. But it would be interesting to see if we could get rid of one row and then what else we could put there. I'm thinking we have to find a better way to put, you know, all of these collector's editions out, or, you know, the Wonder Swan, stuff like that, you know, smaller stuff. So definitely going to think about it. Always looking for new ways to make room in the store. I appreciate the comments. If you guys ever have ideas, definitely let us know. Whee! Alright guys, this is pretty cool. I recently did a video at the storage unit where I found some empty cases, and this was one of them. And I swore that I had this game in the store loose. And look what I found. Boom! There it is. We actually had it loose, although it does have the backing. So how strange that a pretty obscure game like this, we actually have the disc. And we have 2 cases, just missing the manual. So I'm going to be able to complete that one. Also thought it would be kind of cool to highlight all these loose discs we have in the store, especially for our local collectors. So we've got Grandia, we've got Front Mission 3, Shadow Hearts, and these are all tested here, you can see right there. We've got some Marvel vs. Capcom. This is a pretty expensive game if it's complete, a lot cheaper loose. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Suikoden, Shadow Hearts, Obscure, a very obscure game. Azura Dreams, Valkyrie Profile. You can kind of see the tape that we used to have these hanging before. I may actually hang a few of them up again. We'll see. Clockwork Knight 2 for the Saturn, X-Men for the Saturn, and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for the PS2. So I think what I might do is take these and possibly hang a few of them down there. The last time I did that, we actually sold a bunch of them, so we'll see what happens. I think I found my new favorite comment. It's from Lamb Jam. He commented on our post about our massive collection that we posted a couple of weeks ago. Basically posted the video to our Facebook page, and you 100% ripped the person off, LOL, with what you guys buy at nearly 50% value, mid, as well, sell to a pawn shop. All right, so first of all, I'm going to suggest you use some periods and commas in your writing. And I don't know what the is for, unless that's the name of a pawn shop. And also, like, I love that people write this, right? Because clearly, if somebody with this kind of collection, and I do want to add that this person actually sent us a spreadsheet. We had tons of communication with the person. He was very happy with our offer. This person knew the value of his collection. He knew a number he wanted. He got the number. And, you know, he was happy with it. I'm going to say this too here, this whole 50% thing, because it's just become a thing lately. Like, look, some of the stuff in this collection we purchased at over 50%, like 60 or 70, and some of the stuff we purchased at like 10, 20, or 30. And that's the truth. Like a crappy, you know, Super Nintendo or Xbox game, we didn't pay a lot for it. But most of the stuff we paid well over 50%. I can assure you of that. But it doesn't matter. People like this just make these comments and you gotta laugh at them because, dude, like, relax. Also, LOL. Okay guys, so here's what I did for that new collection that we got in. So I put the PS4 games there in the case. I had to move the PS1 games that Steph actually recently moved, so they're back together. And then I put all of the Vita games down here. Vita doesn't sell too well for us, and I'm not too worried about it being a little bit lower down here. Put those 2 Switch games here. And finally, I put the PS4 sort of collector's editions here. This one here, the Super Nintendo looking game, is actually the PS4 game as well. And I put the No More Heroes games up there. I basically had to move back that Nintendo 64 box. So yeah, I had to move these over, angle these. There's really not a lot of room up here. And I dare say, I don't know. We'll see. A lot of room up there. So hey, if you're local, come to the store and buy these. So, little store update for you. It's a little bit after 10:30, very slow today. It is beautiful outside, but slow, and that happens. So I only made a couple of sales. Did sell that chainsaw controller, but that was done before the day opened. And a buddy of Joe's actually stopped by with a Super Nintendo that he found at a garage sale for 20 bucks. And he was like, I don't know if it works. And I said, well, bring it in. We'll test it for you. And I tested it up. Works great. He bought a bunch of games. He bought an HDMI converter. So he left pretty happy. And if you are local and you get a console and you're not sure it works, bring it in. We'll test it on our TV. Sometimes you need new cables. Sometimes you know, it just needs to be cleaned. We use this like silicone sort of spray that can sometimes clean the contacts. So yeah, bring your stuff in and we'll test it for you. In any case, It's been a little slower. I'll give you another update once I have more to say. So since it's been a little bit slower, I've been repackaging all of these discs, basically putting them in brand new plastic bags. And I lowered the prices on a couple of them by like $5 or $10, like nothing too crazy, but just wanted to give them some shiny new plastic because the old plastic was kind of, gross. And what do we got here? Ooh, another one. So I'm probably going to put those in the display cases shortly. Our next trade of the day here, we got some NES games and one Genesis game. So going to zoom right in on the games here. Got Punch Out, really good game in very good condition. Dr. Mario, Super Mario 3, Sky Shark, Pro Wrestling, Double Dragon, and Operation Wolf. Got to shout out the person who cut out the NES box here. I mean, not that this was ever a valuable game, and I don't think it makes any difference. I love that they posed for that picture there. Pretty cool. I get the impression that they're not even jumping, but whatever. And then we got NBA Jam here for the Genesis. And these people love these sleeves. These are the best dust protectors that sell in our store. We price them at $2 a piece. Good stuff. There's our latest trade. Well, it's about 1 o'clock, and it has been one of the slowest days that I can remember. And I don't know what's going on. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that it's race weekend here in Ottawa, and typically people stay home because race weekend closes a lot of the stores. The main highway is jammed. Maybe people just don't want to come visit us, but the whole flea market today is actually pretty slow. We'll see. We're still open for another 4 hours, but man, when it's slow like this, it's like, I am doing little miscellaneous stuff though, just trying to keep myself busy. Joe doesn't like it when I lean, so I got to make sure that I'm not leaning. I'll give you more updates as I have updates available. I don't know. Here's our latest trade. One of our regulars, Cole, stopped by with all of this. So got some random amiibos. Nothing too crazy here. This one's called Big Guy, and I gotta say this might be my new favorite amiibo. Just awesome. A couple more over here. Got an Xbox One controller, and then all of these games here. The highlights being the Dragon Quest game and Xenosaga 2 at the bottom. We were talking about the Cyberpunk game and how it's just not worth anything. It's really interesting how that game just, isn't worth a lot. So happy to get this trade, and we'll see what else happens today. Okay, guys, so it has been incredibly busy. I can't believe the turn of events. The last like 2.5 hours have just been insane. Some amazing buys that I'm going to show you shortly. Let's do it. So this is all the stuff that was traded in over the past couple of hours. I have to basically take pictures of it all, the top there. But look at this, guys. All these N64 games. I can't wait to put those out and show them to you. Also, look at all these Switch games we got. So this guy was actually selling outside the flea market today and just decided to come in and sell to us, and very happy that he did. Almost forgot, tons of Game Boy games in there as well. I'm going to stack this up on the counter and show you everything. All right, so I decided to lay out all the disc base and I guess the Switch games first. So starting with the Switch, we've got Mario Deluxe, Tactics Ogre, Unicorn Overlord, Fire Emblem, Yoshi's Crafted World, Mario Strikers, a couple of copies of Breath of the Wild, actually 3 copies there. Couple copies of Odyssey and Mario Maker 2. Really happy to get these in. Switch is always selling. Then just some common PS4 plus the one PS3 game here. I think the Farming Simulator game's a little more uncommon. Last of Us Remastered and Fast and the Furious. Plus we got these GameCube games here. A lot of them are actually missing manuals. Probably going to take these to the outdoor sale, but always good to get GameCube games in, even the lower end titles. So that's the first of those trades. I'm going to put the retro carts up next. All right, so here's all the N64 that we got traded in. A lot of good games in here. Kirby 64, Mario Party 2, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, such a good game. Diddy Kong, Star Wars Racer, Dr. Mario 64, International Superstar Soccer. Go to the back here. A couple copies of DK 64, Bust-A-Move 2, F-Zero-X. We sold a copy of that 2 weeks ago, and this one's probably going to sell right away as well. Mario Kart 64, Star Fox. This one's interesting. We have a customer that keeps coming in asking for the F1 games, so I'm hoping he sees this and he asks for it and comes in to grab it. Pokemon Stadium, Smash, Mario 64, GoldenEye, Blast Corps, and Rogue Squadron. So a really good lot to get in. A lot of good staples in there. Really happy to get some N64 traded in. The Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. Got a couple of Pokemon games in here. Always need the Pokemons. This is our only copy of Red right now, so really happy to get that one. And same with Mario Land. This is actually our only copy of Mario Land, Yoshi, Harry Potter, both the Zelda games for the Game Boy Color. Really happy to get that. Yoda Stories. Never heard of that one before. Really cool to get that one in. And then some really good GBA games in here. So a lot of games just haven't seen before, like this Mega Man 5. Not the Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy, but neat. And Mega Man Blue 3. A lot of Mega Man games. Sword of Mana. A couple of these Knights Kingdom games. Dynasty Warriors. So overall, a lot of good Game Boy for the store. Okay, so it happened again. As I was like filming and trying to like, put all the stuff out, more trades came in. So got some more amiibos in the box. Gonna put that up here and show you guys shortly. So here it is, everybody, our last trade. It was actually a few Switch games as well, but I've since priced them. We got Splatoon 3. We also got a copy of Animal Crossing, so really happy to get those. And then we got all of these amiibo here. So Hero, Kirby, Pichu, Palico, the Minecraft buddies, and then, oh dear God, I covered these up, so I don't know who they are. This guy's name is, I want to say Steve or something. No, it's not Steve. It's like Terry. That's it. Yes, Dave did it. Terry. And then I don't know who that is. So Kazuya and Banjo-Kazooie, Pikmin, and I don't know what this one is. I forget. Malzino. Really happy to get some more amiibo in. Still have to put these guys in baggies, but I've pretty much done everything. So when you look back here, like everything's gone. I mean, gotta price Brain Age eventually, right? So gonna price these. Gonna finish up pricing these. I just priced all the Switch. I'm gonna put that into our display case over there. And yeah, store's looking good. Gonna keep going. We got about another hour left. So just had a really nice conversation with a couple that was here. They're really going heavy on their collecting right now. They actually were in Carleton Place, like half an hour away from here, and they were sort of driving towards our area here in Stittsville, and they just looked up, game stores, and they found us. So they didn't even know we were here, and they walked in, and they were just like, "Whoa, this is my store." I think that's what he said. And told them about the channel, told them about the Facebook and Instagram page. I wanted to talk about them because they're a really cool couple. They know their stuff. They were walking around. They saw the Pico. They saw the Odyssey, and they were like, wanting that. And the guy, he really wants the copy of Earthbound that we have, the better one. So I know he was eyeing that. But they ended up grabbing some games. It's funny, they grabbed that medieval game for $60 that Joe talked about, I think like maybe last month, where someone got mad at the price because it was exactly the price that was selling for online.
Got a message from a client or a potential client basically looking for a copy of Medieval on the PS1, which we have right here, priced at, in my opinion, a competitive $60. Mentioned that they could get the game for $35 to $40 on eBay. And so, of course, wanting to know if we could drop our price of $60. So, first of all, our answer was no, we just can't do that. Our $60 price is actually $53 before tax. And then taking a quick look at eBay, the only real comparable listing I could find was a buy it now for $54 with free shipping.
It's funny how that stuff happens, right? Like I told him, like, well, I'm glad that guy didn't buy it because you guys got it. And anyway, just really nice couple, really happy to meet them. And if you watched this video, leave a comment down below so we know who you are. And yeah, gotta say, it's actually turned out to be a pretty good day. The morning was boring and slow, but man, like post 12:30, wow, it's been busy, awesome trades. And as I speak, I have another trade I got to show you guys because one more came in. Okay, guys, this has got to be the last trade of the day here. Just a few PS2 games. The Activision Anthology, not a game that you see too often, so pretty cool to get that one in. Sly 2, a couple of off-road games there. Nothing too crazy, but always good to get more PS2 games in. Okay, guys, wanted to do a question of the day today, and I wanted to ask you, how did you get into video game collecting? And more specifically, how has YouTube influenced you to become a collector? And I say that because like my adventure for video game collecting started like I think a lot of people of my generation. I watched AVGN. I specifically watched the TMNT level I was told about it through a friend. He's like, you got to watch this video. And, it's about a game he used to play as a kid and how frustrating it was. And sure enough, I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I need a Nintendo. And I actually came to this store 12 or 13 years ago and bought a Nintendo. I bought that game, a few other games like Blades of Steel, Mario 3, and that's how my adventure got started. AVGN got me hooked. I used to be a complete set collector. I was going for a complete NES set. I had, I think, roughly 600 games until I decided to, sell them off. and yeah, that's my adventure. That's how I got into collecting. How did you get into collecting? So one thing that I forgot to show today was that I started to put the Switch games sort of horizontally here. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to keep it like this. Wanted to try it out for a little bit. I got the idea because somebody was actually looking at the games with his head sort of tilted sideways, and I thought, it might be a little bit easier to look at the games like this. So we'll see how this goes, see if people like it. There's really no good way to do it, right? This cabinet is ridiculously packed. We moved the Switch games to the bottom because kids couldn't see them. They used to be up there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just want to show you guys what I did. That's all for me. I'm heading home, guys. I can't believe how today worked out. I genuinely believe that. Like, I swear we were having one of our worst days ever. And then, bloop, it all turned around. Dan and Mel showed up, and I told them when they were here, I'm like, you guys brought the clients and trades. Turned out to be a really good day for trades. I thought we were only going to have like those first two trades. So really happy we had some stuff to show you. Guys, if you liked the video, give us a like, give us a sub if you haven't already, and we will talk to you next time. Cheers. I don't know what's going on today. It has been dead, like dead. Come on.